Imagine buying your kid a toy only to find the batteries aren't included, or buying furniture but it's missing the tools to build it. Frustrating, right? Now imagine that exact same feeling, but you're paying way more. That is what buying business software usually feels like: fragmented, disconnected, and incredibly expensive. Odoo completely changes that. Odoo is a complete, fully integrated business suite where all your apps actually talk to each other. We're talking automated lead routing for your sales team, seamless AI integration, and an intuitive point-and-click website builder. It's everything your business needs to scale, saving you time, headaches, and money. Stop piecing your software together. Go to odoo.com. That's ODOO.com to learn more.
This is Stephanie Diaz de Leon.
This is Omar Waheed.
This is Beth Stacy.
This is Miles Felix.
And this is Rob Chappell.
And it's 365 Amplified with a full house. Also, Rob had to direct us all because there's too many of us.
Actually, there was more people last week.
What?
We had all 4 interns here last week.
Yeah.
I swear to God. So
Packed
what?
out.
Like, where's everybody else at? Why aren't we here for me? Forget the rest of these two.
They had
like
other important
actual things to do, like
Yes.
other whatever.
Other commitments.
Here, so these two are my favorite. Yes, they're here today.
Let's go. Yeah.
And that's street cred in ways you all never will know.
Camille and
I
Abby
was
will
by
be-
default because there's no other options.
I don't know. You and
But I've
Rob,
been
you and
unseated.
Rob have been like neck and neck.
But that doesn't count. You're
No.
married.
That's why he does a little bit. That's why he's neck and neck with you. Because I have to give him like 20 extra points because of that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's go ahead and move into the stories we want to talk about because
Yes,
we have a
big one to talk about
Yeah.
in a little bit. We're going to get to some of the other news that's been happening this week. Miles is talking about softball.
Yeah, let's do it. So, I'm going to be talking a little bit about the Madison Nightmares, our very own local NWLS team. So that's the Northwoods League Softball. They're the first for-profit women's summer collegiate softball league, and they're entering their 3rd season, as we just fact-check. But the Nightmares are the reigning champions. They won last year with a record, I believe, of 37-9. And yeah, they won the league's championship, and they have the reigning league MVP, Hillary Blomberg, who is a Badger, who this season also had her total season high, I think 17 homers. She's coming off of a great collegiate season, and she's been carrying the momentum into a very, very strong start for the Nightmares. They're currently on a tear. They're 6-0. They started off opening night by beating the Wausau Ignite 11-0. And then from there, they went to Minot, and they played the Honeybees, beat them in a series of 3 with a sweep, and then they came back and beat Wausau again in a doubleheader. So we'll see what goes tonight as they take on the lacrosse team tonight at home, out at the Duck Pond, aka home turf for us. And yeah, I really encourage everybody to go out there and go see the Duck Pond, go see Warner Park. It's a really, really fun environment. It's a great atmosphere for fans to go to, and you also get to watch some really fun softball because this clearly is the best team in the league. We have multiple players that are all at this point now hitting over 500. Ava Carroll from the University of Washington is hitting with a 660 average. Tell Jenkins hitting 550.
I just have to laugh at that number. That is absurd.
And overall, it's just a really cool thing to see because the Mares recruit different players from different collegiate schools or just different schools of the NCAA, and they all get to stay here in Madison for the summer and really put together a strong outing. And I really just have to say it's awesome to have a team like this.
And they're not winning by slim margins. Right? They're winning like you said, 11. I almost said 11-0 because I'm a soccer guy. But 11-0 in the first game.
Is 11-0 like something very specific to soccer only?
No,
because
referring to 0 as nil is the soccer thing.
it is that exists in other sports.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I think it's silly.
I almost also called it a
regardless.
softball match just now. So
I mean,
Yeah.
that exists in baseball, for heaven's sake.
nobody says nil in baseball, do
Oh
they?
my goodness, yes, they do.
I've never heard
You
of it.
because you only listen to Wisconsin ball,
I
like
guess.
you don't listen to anything else.
But
my
even the 3 games against Minot, there was like 13-4 and stuff
Yep.
like that. Like it's ridiculous numbers that they're putting up.
Yeah, and it's honestly great to see, this team has 3 Badgers on it. Hillary Blomberg, again, she was a league MVP, and she's really putting on for, she's from Verona, but she's grown up around the Madison softball community her entire life, and now she's getting to put that on display for all these fans that love softball, and especially for the big audience that comes out to a lot of these games are young softball players, are, younger girls, and it's really, really inspiring, I think, for somebody who has been so invested in the Madison community and has given back so much to also receive that love as she's, putting it on for the Mares.
Yeah, I say when they first started, we went to a game with the kids and it got rained out for like 2 innings, so they gave us a voucher to come back, and we came back and that when it rained then too. But of course we had to go to like play it against sports and buy a glove and balls and stuff because all of a sudden everybody's and there's so many people there.
Yeah,
with the little girls like now suddenly into softball.
Yeah,
which is so cool to see.
It's super cool, and I think again super inspiring also to see all these collegiate softball stars that are coming again from all over the place. We have multiple girls coming from California, Texas, Florida, then also a bunch of Wisconsin natives that are either play at Madison or they play at different schools, maybe in the Big Ten or the SEC, and now they're all staying here. And what's really cool is oftentimes it's families in the Madison area that are hosting these players, and they're getting to stay with them, really get to hang out in Madison, become a part of the community, become a part of, what hopefully is going to inspire the next generation of young softball players in the area as well, and young girls.
Yeah.
Yeah, check it out. And that season previews up at madison365.org. Thank you, Miles.
Is that all our sports stories for today? Because you got to mention Layla Edwards. Yeah,
I
What
can.
about Layla Edwards? I missed.
I can talk a little bit about
Talk
that.
about it. Like she's a Wisconsin,
Well, we got a lot of Badgers to actually talk
Yeah.
about. So the PWHL draft was last night. If you guys are not familiar,
Oh, I missed that completely.
Yeah,
I knew it was
Because it
happening,
was soccer.
and I knew she was up for it. She was in the draft. I missed that it actually happened.
It actually, she wasn't the only Badger drafted. We actually had, I believe, 5 Badgers go in the top 11. So Caroline Harvey.
Yeah, it's the
She's-
start.
That's what happens when you win the NCAA.
That's what happens. Yeah,
Yeah.
Caroline Harvey is the best player in the sport, undisputed. She was MVP of the Olympics for Team USA, but also for across the sport. She was the Patty Katz winner for the NCAA, and she went number 1 overall. And then from there, Layla Edwards also got drafted. Kirsten Sims, Lacey Eden, and Vivian Jungles all went to their respective teams. So it was a huge night for the program, but as you were saying, it was as expected when you do win a gold medal and also the NCAA championship. Your draft stock's pretty good.
Yeah. And like going to San Jose, Layla Edwards is going to be the face of that whole organization.
That whole franchise.
Absolutely. That whole franchise, it's going to be Layla Edwards. And so it's not only a great pick for them, but I think also for her continuing growth in folks recognizing who she is and what she does and such like that. I think it's a great pick for her because she will be a face of that for that franchise
100%.
right away too. And I think and they got nothing. It's going to be her. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's one obviously great. Like we were just saying for Wisconsin, but it's great for women's hockey and women's sports in general because this is almost what we're seeing with. I feel like it's a similar effect we saw in the WNBA when Caitlin Clark got drafted. It's this enthusiasm that people carry over from being fans of these players for years in their collegiate days, and they transition to the league, and then from there, there's more enthusiasm. They have fans that stick around, and this women's hockey league is relatively new. So I mean, we're talking about a league that's been around for I believe about 4 or 5 years now. So they're really going to get to I think hopefully just benefit off the back of so many fans coming from the Wisconsin area, and they're to follow these players like Layla Edwards, like KK Harvey,
like all of them, and hopefully help that UW program as well continue on getting the best, recruiting the best players
100%
as well. Yeah,
awesome. Well, thanks for
see, I'm useful.
jumping that in. Yeah,
Look at that.
Look at that. I could when he asked if there's more sports, he's like, "Well, I could duck for Madison a little
No,
bit."
we don't even. That's not what
No,
I'm
we already did too.
We did. We didn't know.
Yeah, that's fine. It's fine.
No feelings hurt.
All right, Beth.
Yeah, I got to talk to Mary Wells, who's the founder and executive director of the Lupus Support Group for Women of Color, as they got invited to Lupus in Black Conference in July, and it's going to be in London, so it's really exciting.
That's cool.
Yeah, international reach there. They have a monthly meeting, and she says people from over 24 states come each week to the online meeting, and then they also have had people from like different countries like Nigeria and Dubai coming in. Every other month they have like an expert speaker. They have doctors, disability attorneys, psychologists, rheumatologists, proctologists and like wellness experts. And yeah, she says it's just like really great to have a space where these women can talk about their experiences without having to explain it or like be reserved to not, you know, like freak someone else out. Like you're dealing with all these like really hard things, and it's like it's exacerbated by who you are, and like that's awful. And so it was really awesome. I also got to talk to Lisa Payton, who is the founder and CEO of the Foundation for Black Women's Wellness, and they talked about the sisterhood that they have and how like each foundation and the support group have really helped bring each other up. And Lisa really harped on the idea that you can't do this alone, but also the importance of creating these spaces for Black women and women of color. So it was really awesome to hear that they're having like this international reach. And Mary Wells was just excited that her foundation is going to be there for future generations. Because when she first got diagnosed in 1997, she said she had knew one person with lupus in Madison. There were no support groups, and she kind of just built this from the ground up. So
over that period of time, she's been
building this organization. It was 12 years ago she founded it. So
that's awesome.
Is Lisa going to London also?
Lisa and Mary,
That's so cool.
Mary invited her, and they seem very excited. It seems like it's going to be awesome. And they're going to get to go for a week, and they're going to do some like grassroots work there too.
Oh, cool.
Just like educating people beyond the conference as well. So
and hopefully some fundraising to continue to support that group too. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and we're speaking of fundraising,
they have a
fundraising just for the trip.
Great.
Yes,
right?
So
awesome.
there's a GoFundMe for that, which I think is really important.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's like how are you going to get to London?
Like, and you don't, those
or
organizations,
England,
non-profit organizations can't. Like a lot of them do pay out of pocket, and that disparity to be able to like have enough funders to support so they can go to these conferences internationally, not just locally, to get more resources, more support, and the opportunity to share their experience, right? Within the conference and outside the conference is incredibly important. So if you're able to donate, that GoFundMe link will be in the story as well for folks, I'm sure. But please do whatever, even a little bit counts, right? And it helps them feel like they're being supported by the community.
Yeah,
as well.
and they said that they were the only American group going.
Oh my goodness,
it's super important to have that like perspective.
Absolutely.
So
that's incredible.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for that, Beth. Omar, tell us about Project Tote.
Yes. They make tote bags. It's in the name.
Great.
So that's all.
You're done. You're saying.
So Project Tote was started by an 11th grade student in Wanakee, where she took a trip to India actually this past November, and she saw all the litter. She saw stray dogs getting stuck in plastic bags everywhere. So many plastic bags. There was a lot of plastic bags. And she decided, I want to help bring an alternative for all this waste. She was already making tote bags that she was inspired to the year before. After seeing some TikToks, and her friends said, we just kind of wanted to make cute bags for the summer. But after she went to India, it's like, hey, I think I can do something. I can bring my skill set, and I can hopefully make a difference. So she partnered up with a bunch of artisans in the area to make these high quality tote bags. It's all hand spun. All the stuff is locally sourced in India, and they make these bags to sell with the intention of helping fund local artists and cleanup efforts in India. But also, she's in the greater Madison area, so also some stuff in Madison. She's been doing that since November 2025. So this has been going on not too long, but she's very lofty and she already has goals. She hopes to raise $1,000 by the end of the summer, and she's actually more than halfway there already.
Oh, wow, that's great.
Yeah, I know. And it's just been getting more traction. She decided to start an actual website. Before she was just selling things off of her Instagram or to family friends, but she built a website, and that just kind of basically doubled what she sold already,
Nice.
and she's on track to do it, and is now thinking, hey, this could be a long-term future thing to do.
Sure.
I was thinking about maybe only doing it in high school, but
Yeah.
maybe in college.
If it's going, it's going.
And I
Yeah.
can keep doing this. It feels good to do. I like making these bags, and I like working with these artists, and I like making a difference. So yeah, that's Project Tote.
All right.
You'll
And
find
we'll-
some tote bags.
And we'll have more on that at madison365.org. Thank you much, Omar.
Yeah.
And the other the big news we want to talk about is the Office of Independent Monitor put out a report early this week on Monday regarding the in custody death of Richard Lee Johnson,
Mhm.
which we should mention the district attorney apparently did not classify it as an in custody death
Oh,
because he died in the hospital the next day.
okay.
That's not. I
Yeah.
don't think that's how
I know.
that's supposed to work.
I know.
And so the implications of not calling it in custody death meant what? Because I think that's important for people to know.
I'm not even sure why that's important, to be honest with you, because
Because I wonder if it would elicit a type of investigation
yeah,
or not, right?
right.
Like,
And police, as we know, have different, whether they should or not, they have different levels of culpability when somebody dies in their custody versus
Mhm.
not.
yeah.
So in a way, it might actually make it more prosecutable.
Or more litigious
Or
if
more-
they name it. Like,
yep.
so the family could sue if he died in
Right,
custody,
Right.
right?
Because, no, because the police have qualified immunity. So if he doesn't die in custody,
No, but the city doesn't
Right,
necessarily.
right,
So that's
right.
what I mean. Like,
yeah, and the family does have an attorney and may very well sue the city.
Would they still have qualified immunity for criminal negligence?
Well,
yeah,
that's the question.
thing. Like,
That's the
not
question.
anything for like is considered like a felony, like negligence or anything like that.
Right. Well, there's two different things. There's the prosecuted, like a prosecution for negligent homicide, which might seem appropriate in this case, and we'll talk about more about the details. But also, if you're sued by a private party for like wrongful death due to negligence, that's a different thing, and that's what they would have immunity from, is being sued. Although the city,
I don't know.
the individual officers,
Oh, okay.
but the city can be sued for sure, and I
Imagine.
would not be surprised at all if the city ends up having to settle this.
Mm.
Okay, so let's back up a little bit, talk about the report itself and what happened and what the report says and what's going to happen next. Omar went to the press conference
Yes.
with the mother of Gloria Johnson, the mother of Richard Lee Johnson.
Can I just make sure that we say this clearly? That qualified immunity shields an officer from civil lawsuits seeking money damages unless they violated a clearly established constitutional or statutory right.
Right.
Which means a plaintiff has to point to a prior court case with nearly identical facts where the conduct was already ruled unconstitutional or showed the violation was so obvious no reasonable officer could miss it. It only applies to civil suits, though, for monetary damages.
Right, not
It does
prosecution.
not shield against criminal charges.
Right, exactly right. But if the DA says, well, he didn't die in custody, then he didn't wasn't killed by police, and therefore, whatever. So
Yeah.
let's talk about the report. What happened, to get folks up to speed, is on December 30th, 2024. The allegation is that Richard Lee Johnson, who was unhoused and was staying at the Best Western on East Washington, stole a truck. Basically, somebody was checking into the hotel, came back out, it was parked by the door, went in, checked in, came back out and found Richard Lee Johnson in the driver's seat of the truck.
Mm.
Richard Lee Johnson said, well, I'm the valet. Can I have your keys? And the guy gave him his keys. Friends, the Best Western on East Washington does not have valet.
Sure.
I don't think any Best
I don't-
Western has valet.
But he left in the truck. The guy realized his truck had been stolen, called the police. A pair of police officers arrived, one of whom was a trainee, and the other of whom was supervising and training him. And that's going to be important in a minute. Richard Lee Johnson brought the truck back and parked it. I guess I don't know where he went with it. But he brought it back and parked and was just walking back into the hotel and saw the police and turned around and left. And the trainee officer engaged with him, started talking to him, asked his name. He started to say his name and then turned around and fled. And then tripped over the curb, and the trainee officer was able to basically tackle him down and straddle his midsection, was trying to get the handcuffs on him. He was, they say he was resisting. I don't know. I haven't seen that part of the video exactly. But another officer arrived to assist, really slammed his head into the ground and put the officer's knee across his shoulder blades.
That was the supervisor that did that, right?
No. The supervisor training officer who was there initially was on his ankles, was holding his legs, and it was a different officer that showed up and put his knee across the shoulder blades. Now that portion, that 2.5 minutes is the only video that the Madison police have released.
Without sound or with sound? Because some people
it had some sound, but it wasn't very good. You couldn't really hear what was being said because it's from the inside of a car, right? Now, then after they got him subdued, got him handcuffed, he wasn't. It doesn't look like he's just resisting very much in the video. It's kind of hard to tell, but they did. They stood him right up, walked him over, and according to their reports and the OIM report, the Officer Independent Monitor, we'll refer to them as OIM, they sat him down. He said he was having chest pains and difficulty breathing. He actually said, "I can't breathe," while they were on top of him, which is kind of a key thing. So they did call EMS. EMS arrived, checked him over. He said he didn't need to go to the hospital. So they turned around and left after about 3 minutes. They were there for about 3 minutes, the ambulance. Now, the OIM report says that the EMS was not given enough information. It's one of the faults that the OIM report identifies, is that the officers did not tell EMS that they tackled him.
Yeah,
they didn't tell him that he was having chest pain. They didn't tell him he said he couldn't breathe. So they didn't have a full picture. And when he said, "I don't need to go to the hospital," they were like, "Oh, okay," and just left. Then they got Richard into the back of the car and drove him to the jail. Now, the supervising officer, and I'm not naming them because there's significant allegations against them and I don't want to get sued. But the supervising officer said in her written reports and to investigators afterward that he was angry and hollering and belligerent and kicking the back of her seat. The trainee officer,
who was also in the car,
who was driving the car, who did not submit any written reports, but he told investigators later that, "I don't think he was mad. I think he was in pain.
Boy.
And I don't think he was kicking intentionally." So I went down to the OIM and looked at the video myself. And it was very, very difficult to watch. First of all, after they had him on the ground and then they picked him up and then they sat him down, waiting for EMS to come, the training supervising officer in the car says to somebody else, "I'm not going to bleep this," but said to another officer, "God, he's a fucking asshole." So that tells you her attitude about him.
Yep. And also a lot around, not just her attitude around him, but also, right, her sort of like need to perpetuate a story about him, right? Like whether she recognized it or not, she wanted folks to know.
Yeah, other people there.
And be aware.
Yeah, that this is a bad guy.
And tell her version of the story.
Right.
Even though she was already in a position of power over this man, she felt the need to reiterate in different ways what she felt was her experience of that incident,
Yes.
right? And maybe, whether she recognized it or not, deflects from what condition he might be in at that moment.
Right. And they got him in the car and they took him down to the jail. And in the back of the car, as soon as they put him in the back of the car, he is, and I'm inquiring as to obtain this video. I'm going to talk to his family about maybe publishing it so folks can see, but it is, clearly he's in cardiac distress. Every breath he takes, the exhale is a huh, huh, huh. And then after a while it's it's like that. And he's wiggling and he's not kicking her seat, he's convulsing. And if I had someone in my car in that state, I would drive to the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And if I didn't, I would expect to be charged criminally if he died, which is exactly what happened. About halfway to the jail, somehow, I don't know if they pulled over or if they just had a red light or whatever, but the supervising training officer opened the door and said to him, "What's the matter? What's the matter?" Like aggressive like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he could not speak. So she closed the door, and then after she closed the door, this is the most heartbreaking part. After she closed the door, he mustered up enough energy to say, "Excuse me," but not loud enough for anybody to hear, except it did pick up on the audio. But when they were almost to the jail, a couple minutes before they got to the jail, he went silent and slumped over. And they had to wait like 5 minutes for the door for the jail to be open. They finally got into the little parking area there and opened the door, and he was unresponsive. They did the sternum rubs to get him to wake up. He wouldn't wake up. He was like falling out of the car door, and the training officer grabbed his body and his head and slammed his head up against the side of the car, trying to get him to wake up, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, they slammed his head again?
Yeah. Yeah. Her trying to push him back up into the car because he was falling out of the car. She like banged his head on the side of on the door frame of the car. But I don't know how intentional that was, but it wasn't.
No.
It was certainly careless. And then she's trying to get a pulse, and then she says, "Why don't you get the ambulance over here?" And the EMS eventually started chest compressions about 10 minutes after he went silent. And by the time they got him to the hospital, he was in multiple organ failure, and he passed away the next day. Now, the initial medical examiner report, the initial autopsy, ruled his death accidental due to complications of cocaine toxicity. He did not have any cocaine in his system at that time. By the time he got to the hospital,
he had trace amounts from previous usage.
Yes, he had metabolites that suggested that he hadn't used recently.
Mm-hmm.
But it certainly wasn't an overdose.
Not in that time in which he was arrested, he was not on cocaine. He had not very recently taken cocaine.
It was just still in the system.
It was just still in the system.
Now, like caffeine can stay in your system. Found on, so,
Right. And so the medical examiner determined that his death was due to complications from cocaine toxicity, which actually, but then when Gloria Johnson, Richard Lee Johnson's mother, reached out to the OIM to ask them to investigate, they actually sent the autopsy results to an independent forensic pathologist for review. One thing I want to note, it may or may not be relevant, but feels like we should mention that it was Dr. Victor Whedon who did the review. When Aramika Glass, the independent monitor, reached out to him, he was the deputy medical examiner in Washington, D.C., and a professor of forensic pathology at George Washington University, and also did this independent consulting. When she reached out to him, he had already applied to join the medical examiner's office here in Dane County, which is a wild coincidence.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, take that for what you will. He now works here. He is now here. So, I'm not sure how relevant that is, whoever it is or not.
I mean, it's important to note that, like, whoever was involved in his hiring thought what he brought and presents was was hireable, right? Like
And
he was a valid candidate, so
Exactly,
that
yes.
we were going to hire him.
And also, in his assessment, he basically said that the medical examiner's office that he was applying to join was wrong in this case.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying that there was a reason he was, like some nefarious reason that he got hired, but I am saying that they thought during that process, that office, and I'm assuming that office is part of the hiring, I could be wrong.
Found him qualified.
Not only found him qualified, but you also say, like, are you credible in the work that you present? Because this is this is work that you often have to work with certain partners within the city, including the city of Madison, the police, fire, and the public.
Right.
So would you be credible to the public that you are serving?
Right.
And they said yes.
Right. So what he determined was that the death was due to prone restraint cardiac arrest, which he said he was very careful not to criticize the Dane County medical examiner because he said that, or the emergency medicine physicians, that this is a relatively unknown thing. Like the pathology community and the emergency medicine community is becoming more aware of it, but that prone restraint, even if it doesn't look terribly violent, can restrict airflow up to 25%. And basically it ended up being an acidosis situation where your organs produce an overdose of lactic acid, basically, and it can take up to an hour before you go into cardiac arrest, but that's exactly what happened. Now, I kind of feel like both of those things can be true. That if cocaine use did some damage to your organs, made you more susceptible, and then the prone restraint and the fact that they had him prone restrained and stood him right up and didn't let him be in a recovery position, which you're supposed to do, that might have actually tipped him over the edge. Even if he's already slightly vulnerable because of the cocaine use. So those two things aren't necessarily contradictory in my mind, in my layperson, non-medical opinion. Right? For me, the most important thing in this specific case is the complete lack of care when Richard Lee Johnson was obviously dying in the back of their car. As you mentioned, the attitude that the officer had toward him that
permeated that entire that entire sense of, permeated in such a way that it poisoned the way that she was supposed to care for him. Because whether or not he's arrested, whether or not he's a criminal, you still have a duty of care. Period. That is part of your work and your role.
When you have someone in custody,
no matter what, you are responsible for them now.
You are their custodian.
Yes, absolutely. You have a duty of care. And that attitude permeated through what should have been a process where he got support from a medical team.
Yeah.
Instead of what it sounds like to me, a sense of like, I need to assert and exert power over him.
Yeah. And
then tell everybody about how he treated me.
Right.
Right. And how I was impacted,
Yeah.
And rather than the actual, like, what happened to this person and did we do too much? And I get, like, there are reasons why people can't admit to those things for many reasons, some of them being political, some of them being to protect yourself in civil litigation, and also because of but they're also in that also your own ego in this space over and over again, and feeling the need to have power over somebody and treat somebody lesser than you. Because that's what they did. They treated him as if he was undeserving of being believed or like checked on again until it was too much to pretend he wasn't hurt or harmed. And
he was already unconscious.
Only until it was at a point where you couldn't ignore it because other people were seeing it and were going to be aware of it, right?
Yeah,
it didn't matter to them. He was treated as less than. Go ahead.
I don't know if you've ever seen someone stop breathing, but it is very obvious that they're dying.
Oh, yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
In the video, it is obvious. The entire video is obvious, and when he finally slumps over, it is obvious. They were like, well, we thought he just fell asleep. But if you just turned your head and looked, it doesn't look like that.
It is. Movies make it look when someone stops breathing. No, dying is very, very violent.
It's a violent process, absolutely.
And again, I should say the
And here's the thing. They've seen it. Maybe not the trainee, but if you've been in this space as a public servant in this way, whether in custody or not custody, you have seen someone go through this process before. Or at least get close to it.
Even if you haven't, it's pretty unmistakable.
Yeah, there's something.
Very quickly understand what's happening.
Yeah, I might try to put out the video so folks can see, but you can believe me, it was obvious to me. And the police chief, John Patterson, basically is standing by the officers and saying that they did everything right. They followed all the protocols, which call the protocols into question. But
I was going to say, but what, again, that's the thing that everybody falls back on. We followed what was expected of us based on the procedure that we have written so many years ago.
Well, then that procedures are wrong.
Then I question your system, right? I question your process.
Yep. And
I question your willingness to stand by them based only on that.
He did say that he forwarded the second medical examiner's report, the independent one, to the district attorney. So I don't know what the district attorney is going to do with that. Yeah. But I asked the public information officer, has the chief seen the video from the backseat?
Yeah.
Because if you're a human being and you see that video, you know it's wrong.
Yeah.
And they refused to tell me.
Yeah. Because they don't want to know.
They ignored me for a day.
Yeah.
And then I asked again, just tell me, did he yes or no? And they said, we're not going to comment on the report anymore. And I said, I'm not asking about the report. I'm not asking about the report. I'm asking, has he seen the video?
Yeah, if he's seen the video.
Yes or no? And they refused to tell me. So either he's seen it.
So that's a choice, you all. So that's also a choice from that office.
Yep.
Again, unwilling to have some transparency in this process period.
Yep.
I forwarded to the district attorneys, I've done all I can. No, you have not. You have yet to, one, acknowledge that you saw it and you saw some things that you need to retrain people on, right? Or acknowledge, I saw it and it was hard to see, and show empathy about that whole incident in that video in itself, right? You're a public servant. Tell me that you saw the video and you can see or understand.
Or admit that you don't care enough to look at it.
Or admit that you are trying to protect yourself from looking at it. I don't know that he doesn't care, but I do know the process and the political process of, if I don't see it, I don't have to comment on it or change our process or procedure at a time where we can't do whatever excuses we have, we can't do it, right? And he running around trying to deflect with body cams now. Now we're talking about body cams again, right? And you can't get taxpayer support when you're unwilling to be transparent about the process, or the questions around your process and your officers and the way that you all handle these incidents.
Hey, it's Rob jumping in from the future to let you know that after we recorded this podcast, the public information officer from the Madison Police Department did get back to me and let me know that Chief Patterson has reviewed all the video, which means he, like I said, I can't speculate as to his current state of mind regarding these matters, but he has seen the video. He has watched, especially that backseat video. And at least in his most recent public statements, is standing by his officers. Now, back to the show. The Dane County DA's office has also not told me whether the DA or any prosecutor has seen the video, although they didn't respond. They just didn't respond.
Yeah.
They didn't respond and say no.
Yeah.
But they just didn't respond, which is also, something. Omar, you were at the press conference on Monday where Richard Lee Johnson's mother was actually there. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, she did speak for a very short amount of time, but I think this is probably one of the few times she has publicly spoken about this. What can you say? She said there's no greater pain than a mother having to bury their child, and she's not here asking for special treatment for, doing something about this situation and all that's led up to it, but someone needs to be held accountable, and she needs the truth. They were told how he died, and that's not how he died. So the truth wasn't there. No one really seems to be holding themselves to account. They want a public apology from MPD, the city. They want the medical examiner to reconduct it, the actual cause of death. They want changes in police policy to prevent prone restraint, which has actually been changed in multiple police departments around the country, because it does have, unfortunately, a very clear and present possible outcome where someone will frankly just die. So they're staking that. But I think one of the most interesting parts from that press conference is the data and forensics analyst for OIPM, Greg
Gellenbook.
The
U is silent. It's Gellenbook.
Yep. He said it a couple times during it, but these names.
Yeah.
More than half of these medical examiners' causes of death are wrong. They have to put something on there. If cocaine was in his system and that's the only thing they can latch on to,
they just say
it's sensible. But I was like, there's no way that's true that half of these are wrong. Half of them are wrong. I found multiple studies on this. It's 30 to 40% of medical examiners and medical toxicologists just outright disagree on causes of death. Another one found that medical examiners, compared to hospitals when they conduct the autopsy, the quality level is completely different. Hospitals do it significantly better. They have more accurate causes of death, and they find things that medical examiners just didn't bother looking for.
What's really important about that for me is that a medical examiner's report is not necessarily dispositive, right? It's not 100% like you just have to accept it.
Yeah.
You don't have to. You choose to.
Right.
Yes. There's another one in Maryland office of the chief medical examiner. They did an independent investigation into causes of death, and they found that 44 out of 87 rulings were incorrect. They're just wrong. They're not right. And so it is extremely possible for a medical examiner to just put down what's workable. It's
assumed too,
right. which also not to impugn motives necessarily, but like that's also I think depends on who it is they're talking about.
Yeah.
Well, that's in a case like this,
let's just get this done and out of the way. So yeah, cocaine must have been cocaine.
The same Maryland one, more than half of those cases that were incorrect, leading up circumstances to their death, officers described the people as excited or agitated.
So,
couple of the recommendations. I also mentioned I do have a couple of quibbles with the OIM report. I don't want to
say that you completely
said it. That she did. The OIM report kind of uses the word overdose and cocaine toxicity interchangeably, but aren't the same thing.
Those aren't remotely close to the same thing.
Yeah, right. And she's like, they did administer Narcan. So if it was a cocaine overdose, the Narcan would have worked, which isn't true. Narcan doesn't work on cocaine.
That is not a...
And she was a little bit loose in her language at the press conference because in the report, she talked about the knee being across the shoulder blades. In the press conference, she said knee on neck, which is different. So, there are a couple little small things, but about the report. But overall, you can't look at the backseat video and think this is okay. But a couple of recommendations in the report are they want a meeting with Dr. Whedon, now the Dane County Deputy Medical Examiner, about prone restraint, cardiac arrest, how to recognize it. They want a silence protocol, meaning if a person's making noise in the backseat of your car and they suddenly go silent, treat that as a medical emergency. She wants mandatory transport to the hospital, even if it's refused. Because in that particular moment, you're stressed and you don't really know what's going on and you're not maybe in the best condition to make the best decisions for yourself. So if there's chest pain, if there's a suspected overdose, if there's a foot pursuit, go to the hospital, no questions, like just make that a policy.
I don't think they can do that one.
Yeah.
That's more of a civil rights.
It could be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if
One.
you're arresting somebody, take them to the hospital instead of the jail. But so anyway, there's a lot there. We will continue to follow up. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, Carmella Glenn will be here to talk more about this issue and to zoom out, talk about the Office of the Independent Monitor, and then we'll end things with a little bit more levity.
Mm-hmm.
And we're back, and joining us now, Madison Common Council Vice President Carmella Glenn. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing all right. As you mentioned before we started here, it's been kind of a week. Like, it's been a little unexpected. I didn't see this. I didn't know this report was coming. I'm not sure if you did or not, but it's been eventful the last couple of days.
Yes. Let's just say it's been a long weekend for me, and Monday and Tuesday. Yes.
Yep. So as we speak today, which is Wednesday afternoon, give me where are you? I mean, you talked about this at the press conference Monday, but even after a couple more days, where do you sit in terms of your reaction to the Office of the Independent Monitor report regarding Richard Lee Johnson?
I went through a roller coaster of emotions about it. When I first read it, there was this obvious sadness.
Mm-hmm.
This, how could this, why, lots of questions. And then the validation of this guttural thing you walk around this city with as a Black person who grew up here, that know's happening. And then you feel guilty for having this man lose his life for this thing. And then I had reckoned with that and said, because his story will be the beginning of the change, we will make sure. I will not stop talking this time. I placed myself close enough to the power that I want change. I've wanted change and been doing change one by one and quietly behind closed doors. That was a new thing for me, Rob, because I know I've talked to you before. I've done a social media, or I've done a news, but I had conversations with my son who's visiting from Texas, who I moved to Texas because it's not safe as I'm doing this kind of work, who's home. And I'm like, okay, you can't be speeding. You can't be doing this. Like, the weaknesses can't be the weaknesses. And so I knew I was putting myself in a different position than I ever have, saying it out loud in front of people. Because I've said it to Chief. I've said it to many chiefs in closed rooms. But it's different when the whole world's watching, right?
Mm-hmm. When you say that this could be the beginning of the change, what do you mean by that? What change are you hoping for?
I'm hoping for some police reform. I'm hoping for some changes around their policy. And I am hoping for change, policy change, standard operating procedures for police. I want, this has to happen. How our arrests are done, who's arrested, investigations. I want, for a long time, I wanted body-worn cameras, and then I didn't because we saw the data, and I was looking at it from such a prevention lens. But as someone who's a trained facilitator and doing trainings, we know there's not any prevention to racism and systemic. If I could have trained people out of this, boy, the world would be a different place. But so prevention is great, but I needed accountability. And so when I landed that, and when I sat with Aramik and we talked about that, and then ordinance and policy around those so that job can be done. So I want police to have to do work in the community that people feel safe with. People feel safe with. They don't feel safe when most, and this is a Black thing, but this isn't just a Black person thing. You should not be fearing an officer when they show up. And we genuinely, all over the country, fear police when we see them coming.
There's a fundamental disconnect, I think, because a lot of people in this country, a lot of people in the city, don't understand what you're saying right now, because the assumption is that the police are the ones that make you safe, and that when there's police around, you feel safe because the police are keeping you safe from the threats or whatever. But that's not your experience. So that's not the experience of a lot of people, particularly Black people, right?
No. Since becoming an alder, I've had incidents with police with family members. Like, Chief can't look me in the face personally because he's had to get a call from me around things going bad, things not going right. And I know they're not going right at this moment. We have to address that. That cannot happen. You don't get to say from 10 at night till 6:30 in the morning, we tend to have a little bit more rough and tumblers on the street. Well, guess what? Then you don't get to argue with Armeek's data that says that's when the highest rate of bad things happening and these over disorderly conducts in Black and brown kids getting. So what I have found since being in this position is I have challenged that numerous times, that they don't believe two things can be true at once. Like, what do you think? Men and women don't just end up in prison. Someone's got to arrest them and prosecute.
You refer to the disorderly conduct because that's kind of a catch-all charge that if the police just don't like the way you look at them, they can just give you a disorderly conduct, right? Like, that's just an easy thing. And it's almost impossible to dispute.
Exactly. It's that, right? Yes, it's that ambiguous charge that allows them to be punitive. And now we're seeing these other extra charges attached to them that then restrict people from being able to get restorative justice. And when those reports and stuff start coming out around that, so like it's all insidious.
So back to the specific report, and then we can sort of zoom out a little bit and get back to some of these bigger issues. What specifically jumped out to you from the report, and that was is there any one or two specific things that need immediate addressing as far as you're concerned?
Oh, absolutely. Obviously, the first time I cried reading it was the I can't breathe. We've all heard that before. There are people who use it as a meme. We're also used to hearing it so much. And then the video in the car.
You've seen that?
I did not see the whole thing. I've been asked to come up there. I'm not ready to see it. Reading about it was enough. Yeah. I was distraught reading it. I heard you seen it.
Yeah, I don't think you need to see it. It's I wouldn't if I were you. But to me, that was the crux of it. That it was so it's just unambiguous. It looked to me as I'm trying to look at it as fairly and objectively as I can as a journalist, not as a activist or an advocate in any way, but just objectively, it's not ambiguous. He was in significant medical distress and couldn't talk.
Yep.
And it seems obvious to me. And I was, again, I'm always skeptical of everything. But it just seemed obvious to me that the no-brainer thing to do would be to drive him to the hospital.
Exactly. Why not? You have to be paying attention and doing your work to
Right.
do that, though.
Now, do you think, what about consequences here? In this specific case, what are the consequences that you want to see?
Consequences are really hard when policy and procedure are in place. Would I love to have those officers not being able to be officers anymore? Maybe that'll happen down the road. Maybe, other stories will get rid of them. This one doesn't get rid of them. This one, though, is an opportunity to make some change. For Chief to be the person that we all believe Chief to be, the man who wants something different, this is the opportunity for him to not just be the thin blue line, but to also be the man that we see. And so policy change, they can make those policy changes in standard operating. It doesn't mean, Aramika, I watched her Lunch and Learn today, and we had talked about this. Just because it's state law does not mean that we have to have it in our policies and procedures. He can do that locally. I want to see no more prone restraint. I don't want to see that move anymore. I want to have EMS. You have to tell EMS these things when you do these things, or otherwise it is consequence behind it. And that if you have to take them to the hospital. They have to receive medical services.
Why wouldn't this be grounds to fire those 2 officers, though? Or those 3, or however, whichever.
With the video, there might be some nuance in there, but according to procedural,
They didn't violate any
Yeah.
police policies. Did they break the law in the failure to render aid during the transport? That's my question.
Correct. There could be some failed to render law, and there could be some consequences for lying under oath that these things didn't happen because they are not in the report.
Which aren't in the report?
What is not in the report that he said he couldn't breathe, and that he had what was the first thing? I spoke about it in my speech. Now my brain is.
That's okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I feel like I guess I don't know. I'm not an attorney, but it seems to me that if I had somebody in my car in that state and ignored it, I could be criminally charged. It seems to me.
Yeah.
I don't
Absolutely.
know. So do you think that this report from Aramika Glass, the independent monitor, is evidence that office is necessary and that its independence is necessary to maintain?
I believed that before this. I believed that with what we learned from even the Maya, from the whole thing that involved that. From
the previous report regarding the arrest of Maya Pearson, which we talked about.
Correct.
Weeks ago.
Which then showed us, Brandy should have probably filed a report and not took what she took. She probably had one too. So, when you find out and you dig into it, so I think so with that, but then even just watching her, hold the office and use the ordinance for the first time, the ordinance that so many of us fought for 6 years ago. We're up till 3:00 in the morning giving testimony on. I was one. To see that ordinance come to life. Yeah. And to see, so here's the thing is why I can slow down, but the independence is the independent part. Like, I think there are some people in my life that feel like, why was I standing there and why weren't other alders? Other alders didn't know. not because other alders don't support, not because other alders won't support the office, because it needs independence. And this city is too small for her to be sharing with anybody what she's doing. She tells me, if I would have said anything to anybody, my person then has a person who has a person who has a person. We're like 2 people away from all being related, let alone getting to the chief of police or the DA, right? Like, this office has to be independent. And I don't think we've dealt with anything at this level, but I got a funny feeling Aramik's going to teach us.
Yeah, because I guess if it becomes a city council press conference, then the office becomes an arm of the city council, or perceived as such in a way.
Exactly.
Now, the other question related to that is, I understand these first 2 reports that have come out, the My Pearson arrest and this one, that Aramika did actually share some information with the chief of police before disclosing, or before releasing publicly. Does that undermine the independence? Does that make it feel like it's, I mean, to me, my first impression, being a skeptic, being always questioning everything, is that if she's doing that, isn't she just sort of being an extra PSIA for the MPD and allowing them to weigh in?
There's a level of when you're first doing it and you're feeling yourself out of lessons learned, I think, and a lot of good faith kind of work that she does. She talks about it all the time. But then once you find out that, which is what I felt like was me, like when I was asked to be brought in and shared, it was like, okay, you have to build trust with this office. And so mouth shut. But I don't think it'll be happening again. I will let Aramik tell that level of the story if she wants to, but I have a funny feeling the way all of it played out that they will no longer get it ahead of time because she asked for silence.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah, that's my question is, and that if the police department has a chance to craft their counter narrative ahead of time, or even ask her to make some revisions to the report. And I don't know that she would or wouldn't, but but we don't know, because we don't know if she would or wouldn't. Like, that does question the independence in my mind.
Exactly.
Now, when we talk about independence, the things that came up in that marathon city council meeting, and regarding the proposed ordinance amendment, which would have clarified some things regarding independence, I think. The proponents of that amendment were talking about it being about the office of the independent monitor being subject to just sort of basic city rules and regulations, right?
Yes.
Is that, you're kind of smiling here.
I'm laughing because they are.
What's your response to that?
They are. They're following every labor law. They're following this. Are there certain things that are going to be different that she has asked for? Do I think that there has been a hard learning curve for some city people in what she needs? But what I think needs to happen, I'm having a lot of the heads of each agency get together to meet, because we need to come to some common stuff around the office. But Mika's smart, and she knows what she needs, and she knows what she wants, and she asks for it. And there is a distinct thing that happens here in Madison because we're so nice. That we all, let's just say, we all speak different languages sometimes, and Mika speaks a different one, which is knowing her job, and everyone's saying, but the city has to have this, and she's like, or if there's rules or if there's laws, and when she says, okay, show them to me, and then you can't, that she's challenging the status quo around here, and it's making people uncomfortable a little bit. But I do have a really good feeling of some work we have coming ahead. But I think there's some misinterpretation. As a Black woman who has had to work within a city like this, we're often thought of unwilling and hard to work with.
Sure. Yes, I get that. So what you're saying, just to be real clear, that the Office of the Independent Monitor should be and is subject to all the APMs, all the HR policies, all IT policies, all the open records law, open meetings law, all those things, because they are city employees and it's a city office?
Well, no. What I'm saying is that this office, there's some IT things for keeping city until there's an alternative. Maybe this place turns into its own independent office of like an inspector general. But until we get there, there's some firewall things of protection. There's some labor laws, and other than that, they need to be 100% independent.
Okay, so they should not be subject to public records law, open meetings law?
I think that there has to be something in there that allows for during an investigation, just like how police are, which then she releases everything anyway. But other than that, yes, there's open records. There's all of those things that, she will be subject
there's
to.
Exceptions.
It just has to be different, yes.
There are plenty of exceptions to open records law, drafts and contract negotiations, stuff like that is all exempted.
Exactly.
But broadly speaking,
she will follow those.
Should be as subject. So is there even if the general things, the HR stuff is you just say that they're subject to, maybe some people have to learn some policies at some point, or but is an ordinance amendment even necessary then, or can we just all agree that
I would prefer to not touch the ordinance?
But understanding though that means the office is subject to basic city operating, like how policies,
if there's a way that
rules.
The ordinance could be strengthened anymore, the PCOB and Army are quite aware that I am open to asks that they have to bring to council. They haven't given me of any way that they even would like it strengthened anymore yet. But I would be more than happy to help them strengthen it. I also would love to be able to have them be fully funded. I would like for her to have a case manager to be able to help out, data be full time. So those are things that I'm.
Yeah, but those are to augment the work and to make to make it more effective, maybe more efficient. But not
as far as the ordinance, I would prefer to leave it. They like Armik has said, we have one of the strongest ordinances she's ever seen. It's something that other cities work hard to get, and we have it. And so, and that's what I'm saying. See how you say that? If I could, I need to take you into rooms to explain to you that if the ordinance stays this way, it says she has to follow all these things. For some reason, I can't get everybody to agree to that, which leaves me to have a tiny distrust then when you're telling me that, well, we just want to put these things in there to make it better when it's already there.
All those things already exist. Right. I mean, I'm trying to think of other. We're kind of getting in the weeds of municipal government, which is This is not a Parks and Rec episode, but there are departments. There's city departments who have independent boards overseeing them. Like there's a Parks Commission, for example. But the Parks Department is still subject to all city policies.
Yeah.
And all government policies, all like open, whatever, sunshine laws, etc., which are state law. So why OIM can't just be like that, I don't understand. And why, so maybe it's just a question of a bit of professional development, a bit of learning, a bit of and a bit of enforcement of existing policies rather than new ordinance amendment to clarify existing policy.
Yeah, the only thing different that I think we have to address is that is in the is because it says that they can hire outside counsel, but they really need an attorney that is also not the same attorney.
Oh,
because here's the difference between what they're doing and what most of us are doing. Most of us are there to protect this, to look out for City of Madison at multiple different levels. Some of us are looking out for the community, thinking alders and making system and doing work that way. Some of us are working inside of it and upholding it. Some of us are risk mitigators of it. She's none. She wants to make the community better, but she's not trying to be risk mitigating to us. She's not trying to protect us from getting sued.
Right. So that part of it, that is something that came up that I kind of forgot about, that there's that one key piece of independence that's not currently written in necessarily is who is OIM's lawyer.
Yes.
Right. Because technically speaking, it would be the city attorney who is also the attorney for the police department.
Correct.
Which that's an immediate conflict of interest, which is why you put that they can hire outside counsel if they want to. But you're saying that even that part maybe should be strengthened, where they could just have their own attorney. Because it could get really
expensive. They should have one that they could have more access to. I mean, unless we're going to give them the 2% of the police budget, then we don't have to give them one. But if we're not, then we need to give them an attorney on the outside.
Gotcha. Okay, so that's a specific piece that maybe needs to be hammered out. But the APM's policy, stuff like that, that's like let's just make sure that those are enforced, but not worry about it in a legislative way. Other question for you: do you feel that if the OIM is independent, do you think that then they necessarily have to be objective, neutral in their finding of facts?
I think that they need to present the facts in an informed way. I don't care which way you swing.
Right.
If the evidence, and when she's able to dig in and properly do it, 37 cases that was on her annual report, all closed, all this, we heard nothing of, they were past, they were older. None of us have dug into those because we aren't worried about it, right? Like that's how a community works. But so I and them all were like, okay, you already punished, these things already happened, and these officers, good enough. So I think in all of the time she's closing them, and we won't hear things because it's fine, things worked out, she closes it, she gives it, she presents. So, but
now, are those publicly available?
I think in her annual report, so you'd be able to go back through and ask for any open records on them because they're in her annual report. She talks about 37, I think, of them.
37 cases that they were investigated and found no particular wrongdoing, or that it had
already no double jeopardy.
Right. That had already been kind of disposed of and everything's fine.
Right. Yeah. Officer had been held accountable in whatever way we hold them accountable.
Okay. So there's been no additional action necessary. Gotcha. All right. So what's next? What has to happen next? We talked about the specific of that report, but in terms of OIM, you said you're convening directors of other departments?
Yeah, we're going to have a meeting with directors, have a great conversation, talk about some understanding and communication ideas amongst each other. Aramik, I think this coming out is a really good education. I'm hoping that Aramik gets her, does her rounds and starts educating the community on how this works and why it exists and why she needs to. She is so educated in this, and we need that here. I I know that she's gotten, numerous cases since this announcement. But this community doesn't 100% understand what she can do for us. For instance, it's gonna look like it gets worse before it gets better. We're going to have people for the first time feel safe enough that someone knows what to do with their situation. And so it's going to feel heavy, and it's going to feel like, why is this happening everywhere? But if the police and the attorneys really start digging in and educating and changing their policy and procedure, we'll see some real change. Our community can really start to feel safe and trust that our police are going to try to do the right thing.
Yeah.
So next, the department heads. Looks like tomorrow night there's a PCOB meeting. It got canceled for tonight, but I see it's on the agenda for tomorrow night. So gonna go to that tomorrow night, listen in. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people that'll show up. I would love to see her office be fully funded. I would love to see the ordinance really left alone. And I mean, there's part of me that wishes that it could be her the whole time, that she could stay on. I'm nervous that will we find another one? It took us 6 years to find a her. And I don't always trust systems so much to make sure that they don't make sure this ever happens here.
Yeah. Right. All right. Well, Carmella Glenn, Vice President of Common Council, thank you very much for your time, and good luck. We'll stay in touch as this goes forward.
Oh yeah, Rob, you'll be hearing from me, trust.
And we're back, and it's time for the roundtable question.
Yeah.
What do you got, Steph?
And I didn't share this out loud because I decided to be
We're doing this on the fly.
Yeah. What's the most chaotic decision you've made in the last 48 hours, big or small?
Oh, no.
There's an assumption there.
Oh, Rob, don't start.
Which means that a chaotic decision has been made. So the bar might be a little bit low on the chaos.
You going to a game at 8:00 at night?
That wasn't that chaotic.
It's kind of chaotic.
I didn't stay for the post game.
Which is unlike you.
Well, the game was delayed by half. This is a Fort Madison game against Fort Wayne. It was delayed a half hour because of weather.
Look at how he was able to slide it into the story.
So finally it was done. Yeah, I was able to slip in some more sports. It was a 1-1 draw. But
just like the World Cup. Just like the World Cup.
But so the game wasn't over until 10:30, and I was like, it's a draw. Nobody really wants to talk about a draw, so I'm just going to skip the post game. That was my chaos, that I skipped the post game.
Yeah, that was your chaos.
So there was no post game audio for 608 Soccer.
See, look at you come up with an answer.
But then I ran into my old friend Andy Adams.
Oh my God, there's still more. Hi, Andy.
So I ended up staying late anyway because I was talking to Andy and
yeah, chaotic a little bit for you.
A little chaotic. So I wasn't home till 11:30,
which is late for you.
Yeah. That was chaotic.
Yeah. Who wants to go next? I'm looking at you, Omar, because
Sure.
I know you have an answer.
So yesterday I was talking with my friend Albert, and he was like, I got a joke that I've been working on, and he's not funny at all. I was like, oh, that was bad. Do you want to hear good jokes? Because notably former stand-up comedian. So I just read him off so many jokes, the money-making ones. And he was like, these are horrible. I was like, why would these words come out of someone's mouth ever?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, but it was for a comedy club. This isn't like casual, normal conversation words. He's like, you shouldn't tell these to anyone ever again. I was like, I haven't.
Not until I get booked in a club will you hear them again. All right, who's next between the two of you?
Oh, I'm not very chaotic. I need a second.
Okay.
I can go ahead. I got a decent one.
There you go.
So this is Tuesday evening. My friends and I were at James Madison Park on the water. It was around sunset time, so it was beautiful. But you guys remember Tuesday night was a little bit windy.
Yeah.
It was like upward gusts probably of 20 miles per hour. But we were just thinking hey, It's a gorgeous night. Let's be there for the
Absolutely.
sunset. So we had brung a volleyball because we figured we'd play in that net over there and, see if people were playing. And, we got going and we started realizing, hey, the wind's actually a bit of a factor here. So there were two of us and then there were other people playing on the court and we're all bad. Like my group of friends, it was me and my three other friends, we all suck. The two girls that happened to be playing, like, we're good.
Yeah.
So
great.
we were like, okay, let's just do a little 3-on-3 action. So they're just better than us. Any ball that came all like our way, it was just like, it was sad. Like we didn't have control over it because of the wind, but also like we just weren't.
We're going to blame the wind, but even with the wind, if it was on your side, you still would have missed it.
I mean, the wind, if you hit a ball up in the air, it was
just going to carry it.
It was unpredictable. Yeah, it was going everywhere. So a lot of stuff happened. A lot of us people diving and people,
unnecessarily
getting hit by the ball or, sand in the eye, all of that. So that was very chaotic, but, I mean, it was a fun choice,
night.
But definitely like it was unpredictable for a lot of reasons. Yeah,
maybe unnecessary. You put yourself through, but still.
Oh wow, I'm gonna sound super boring.
No.
I've had a unchaotic week,
which is good.
Yeah,
That's good.
It's been nice. I've needed a break. So my sister has a pet cat, and I live with my sister, but I'm allergic to cats.
Oh,
but this cat is the sweetest. Like she'll cuddle with you. She'll like, nuzzle into you. And the other day, I was like, yeah, like. You can come like lie on me, I'm like lying in my bed, and all of a sudden I like can't see. I'm like my throat is like itching.
Wait, that is pretty chaotic. She'd be like, I know I'm allergic, but come sit on me.
Yeah,
come hang out with me.
It's maybe I was just feeling a little lonely. I was like, I need her name is Willow. She's like the sweetest. She'll like push her head into you and like, but then she'll like attack you. So like she's like 8 months old too, by the way, and she is larger than my adult cat at home. She is massive.
Wait, you have an adult cat at home too?
At like my parents' house. Yeah.
Even though you're allergic?
Yeah. I promised my parents. I was like, I guess we can. And then I'd like every time I go home, my eyes are like puffed up. I'm like, where's the Benadryl?
You're like,
So, but I love cats so much.
Oh,
so
okay. That's
I just keep the Zyrtec on stock, So I guess it's kind of chaotic.
Yeah. Like the Costco size Zyrtec, so make sure you always have
It's the only way to buy it because otherwise it's like
so expensive.
So expensive
for a little bottle of
things.
Yeah, absolutely. So mine's is, I think that's a pretty good one.
Thank you.
Even though like you're allergic, I'm like, come here, kitty. I know I'm going to react in all the bad ways, but I need it. Mine's is pretty lame. I haven't drank caffeine in a few months.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I gave it up.
Yeah.
I drink decaf, but there's like, I just gave it up one day. I was like, I don't need it anymore. And I had some yesterday, which not a lot. I didn't realize I asked for decaf, but they're like, oh my God, we're so sorry we made you caffeine.
Where was this?
At Aldo's on campus.
Oh, okay.
And they know me and they knew it. They're like, do you want it? And I was like, because we'll make you a new one. I'm like, don't make me a new one. I'll take this one. I'll drink half of it.
Yeah.
Because I asked for a lot of ice. I only drank half of it. Was I up till 1 a.m. going like this? Reading TikToks. That's why I know Layla Edwards thing. It's not because that's what made me. I was like, well, this is a good question because I was like, well, look at all these things because I could not go to sleep. And I still woke up at 4:30, no problem. But I was just like, I'm gonna be real tired and real cranky.
4:30.
I get up at 4:30 now.
Now
I also go to bed at 9. I used to get up at 5. But yeah, I also go to bed at like 9. I do go to bed like I can't. I'm like, look, I am tired of overthinking. I need my head to rest.
Right. If you were up till 1, the caffeine really
took
hold
I
you. Yeah.
didn't even finish it.
Oh God.
So I was like, how many shots did they put in there?
all of them.
That's what it felt like. Yeah. I was a little chaotic at the end of the night. So
how has been quitting caffeine?
It was fine. I never
that big of a deal.
I never drank caffeine until my second child. And that's like until Amelia was born, did I get, because then I had 2 kids under 3. And that's when I drank. So I haven't drank very long. And even then I only drank a little bit. And then, I don't know, and I think just after Iceland, I was like, I'm done. And was done.
That's impressive.
That wasn't a transition.
Yeah.
I didn't love it the way everybody else loves it.
Yeah.
It's fine. Do you need coffee to
Rob
really?
Does like 3 to 5 coffees a day.
I do my coffee in a French press. Not only because I'm a snob.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're also like,
but also that
way too into it.
Right. I do it in French press because it's the best way to do it, and I'm a snob about that. But also,
is it the best way to do it?
No.
You only make You only make this
Everybody has
much.
gestures about it.
That'll be like next week's debate. There's like, what's the best way to make coffee? But it's a limited amount of coffee.
Yeah, because if
When
you
I was-
drink a pot of
If
coffee,
I made a pot of coffee, I would
you
drink the whole thing.
before 10 a.m.
When I had a couple years of debilitating migraines, remember?
Yeah.
And
a heart attack.
All in the same
Those are
year.
separate things. No. The migraines were like
There's
2000.
no correlation. No correlation.
There were migraines. There was a traumatic brain injury.
The migraines
there was a
because
heart
of-
attack.
Heart murmurs,
There's
you
a
know.
heart. There was the appendix.
cares?
Wow.
There was
There was
Wow.
COVID
now.
4 times.
Okay, yeah, there was the migraines were from the car accident in 2018
Uh-huh.
until 2020 or so, and then
Mid 28.
and then 2022 was the appendix, and COVID. I got COVID in the hospital
No,
with the
and
appendix,
the heart attack.
and then the heart attack was 2 months after that.
Yeah. You got appendix, COVID, heart attack. It
in
was
2 months.
Yeah.
But the migraines were before that. But
So
I went
expensive.
to the. But the reason we're talking about Rob's health
so
history
expensive.
is I went to
That's like
the.
a of caffeine.
with
So he's been through it now.
With the you're right. But with the migraines, I went to the neurologist, and he was like, "You might want to cut back on the caffeine." And I was like, "You know what? They're just headaches.
I'm not. Give me medicine. I'm
It's
not.
fine. It's fine. I'm not. No,
It's
we're not giving
It's
out
not
caffeine."
that big of a deal anymore.
Yeah.
Even though
Don't
they're
come for my coffee.
debilitating.
Yeah.
It's like, how dare you?
Yeah. How dare you suggest that I give up coffee?
Ew.
I mean, even right now,
I know.
I'm seeing. Well, I guess this is Dave's, right?
Yeah. This is Dave's
Okay,
coffee.
okay.
Oh,
I was gonna say.
I'm
Double
not
fisting
fisting
his coffee.
Double fisting coffee.
Yeah, Dave
the
blesses his empty
fact that
coffee.
I drink iced coffee upsets him so much too.
It's the worst.
Oh,
Why would you
what?
drink it not hot?
No.
Look at-
What do you mean?
If you couldn't hear that, listener, the interns were just shaking their iced coffees in the microphone.
It's generational. You're old as heck, and some of us are
Yeah,
better than you.
I guess.
But also, like, I love like a black ice Americano, like
Yes,
dark and
that's
cold,
the way to go.
like my soul. Like that's the way it
If
should
it's
be.
sweetened, I'll have it iced.
Sweetened.
If it's, but I never drink coffee sweetened very rarely.
Yeah, you don't do that anymore. You
Hmm.
put cream in your coffee. That's sweetening it.
It mellows down a little bit. I had to start doing that in my like.
Because of heartburn? That's how
Yeah.
you're like, serious?
Yeah,
I was
basically.
kidding.
Should you be drinking coffee?
It doesn't sound like
It just sounds like it's not compatible with you.
I used to drink it black.
Try ice because it waters it down. Maybe it'll like not.
But the temperature is incongruous with the flavor.
Oh no!
Wow.
That's a lot of words to say. It don't taste as good. Just say it don't taste as good.
It
You have to incongruous. Next week we're going to talk about all the annoying words Rob uses just to say something more
Yes.
difficult.
we can
Use
both do that
plain
one.
language. I know. To make his point, it has to be 3 or more syllables.
Yep.
All right, friends, we'll be back next week with more fun making fun of Rob.
365 Amplified is produced and edited by me, Rob Chappell, and is a production of 365 Media Foundation, a non-profit, local, independent media organization in Madison, Wisconsin. Wherever you're listening to this right now, hit the subscribe or follow button to get new episodes every Friday. And between episodes, get your latest news at madison365.org and follow us on Blue Sky, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Threads. Wherever you get your news, we'll be there.
Are you noticing your car insurance rate creep up even without tickets or claims? You're not alone. That's why there's Jerry, your proactive insurance assistant. Jerry handles the legwork by comparing quotes side by side from over 50 top insurers so you can confidently hit buy. No spam calls, no hidden fees. Jerry even tracks rates and alerts you when it's best to shop. Drivers who save with Jerry could save over $1,300 a year. Don't settle for higher rates. Download the Jerry app or visit jerry.ai/libsyn today. That's jerry.ai/libsyn.